This is a Your Last Resorts production.
All right, this is Tidbits and Randomness. I'm Winston Dean with Jason Brendel. How you doing, man?
Good, man. How you doing?
One of my good friends. I've known him for years. And Ben Bosunga, how you doing, man?
I'm chilling, man. I'm good.
That's good. That's good. So if you guys haven't ever tuned into the episode and you're tuning in to see some comics that you like, the format of the show is basically we talk about some random topics that are going on throughout the world today for the first half of the show. And the second half, we each talk about a random topic for 5 minutes together. So
Okay, cool.
a little bit of tidbits of randomness spread out throughout the whole episode. And
yeah.
hopefully we'll have a good time.
I do like randomness.
Yes, who doesn't, right?
Yeah, right.
Like ever since Cracker Jacks, like you never know what you're gonna get.
Little
All right.
Cracker Jacks.
So to start off, guys, first off, how was y'all's weekend? Y'all do anything fun?
Oof. Yeah, this weekend was fucking crazy. Just like nonstop. I did a bunch of comedy shows. Probably did like 3 or 4 sets this weekend. Did a house show. Did Ty's house show.
Okay.
Which is kind of weird.
I did that before the pandemic.
Yeah, it's weird when you do a show where you're like, I know people here. you know, like I can see you in the face and you're sitting on a couch judging me.
Yeah.
Like, you can do jokes for strangers.
I'm a lazy boy of all things.
But if you bomb again with people that you're gonna see again, they're like, yeah, remember that dude that thought he was funny? Yeah, dude, you're
Trash.
not invited to the cookout.
Yeah,
like,
trash.
Garbage. Yeah.
It's like a Nintendo in the background. I had a good weekend. I've just been working a lot. I've been driving for Uber, so crazy weekends.
I've been doing
Yeah.
bro, the rates right now.
It's
Are
insane.
you on Lyft too? Right?
Yeah, I'm on both of them.
I think Lyft has been doing a little bit better streak rates lately.
Yeah, they've had some crazy
Yeah,
promotions.
like where it's
so.
like 21 extra bucks for like 3 rides.
Yeah,
It's
they're doing
sounds good.
stupid stuff.
Yeah,
So I've
yeah.
just been going hard on that.
Did you guys go to like the Circuit of the Americas to pick up anyone?
Hell
for, like,
no.
the
Hell no,
F1?
dude. It's
No.
not worth it.
Yo,
No.
that shit. I heard that shit was a shit show.
It's a shit show, and it's out there, too.
It doesn't make sense. That shit, they know there's going to be hundreds of thousands of people out there. It's still one-way streets out there, like both ways.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, and it's so much, it's like country fields surrounding this one-way street. It's like, widen the fucking street. Like, make it 2 lanes. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, no,
It's 2 hours if you were to drop someone off, if me and you did that, it would take about an hour and a half minimum to go in and go
exactly.
out.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
that's so silly.
You can set it to like a destination mode. You can only do it like twice per day. But I'm like, I'm setting it towards the other side of town.
Yeah.
Because then everything takes me there.
Chess, not checkers.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta outsmart Uber because they fuck with you, man. They
Oh,
play,
yeah,
they
they'll
play
give
on
you shit.
addictive patterns. Like they make everything all red and shiny, and if you're not driving, they're like, "Hey, you should be driving right
Yeah,
now."
yeah.
It's like,
They start throwing Uber snacks at us.
Yeah.
You gotta-
Uber snacks?
Yeah, like you go to 7-Eleven, they give you snacks, but you got to buy shit before you get shit. It's like, man, just give me some fucking Twizzlers. Like,
Yeah.
goddamn, I'm over here slaving for y'all. So, are you guys ready for my weekend was good, by the way. I just watched sports basically.
That's
So.
all
Are
right.
you? Are you like a basketball guy, football guy? What's your sport?
I mean, I love all sport. My favorite sport to watch is probably football. But then that being said, my favorite sporting event to watch is probably the World Cup, which is coming up. This
Oh
winter.
yeah, I'm
Yeah, the
excited.
World Cup
I
is-
do love. I'm not like
It's just different.
it is
Yeah,
different.
I'm not a big like soccer dude, but I fuck with the World Cup like
Bro,
heavy. Like,
It's not a sport; it's a culture. You know what I mean?
yeah,
For
no.
sure.
When I was a kid, my dad used to like it's kind of crazy because we moved from Africa. My dad has like a PhD as an engineer.
What country of Africa?
We moved from the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Okay.
And then we get here, and they're like, yeah, dude, that doesn't mean shit here. I'm like, bro, this dude's like the smartest guy I know. Like, my grandpa's like a college professor, and he's like, yeah, your dad was like the smartest guy I know. And then we come here, and they're like, yeah, your degrees don't mean shit.
Yeah, you got to start
Yeah.
from square one.
Yeah, so then
how many credit hours do I got? 0.
Exactly. Yeah, you get 0 credit, no hours. So then he started his own business, and he used to like clean restaurants at night. So we used to like go, and I used to help him. I'm like 12 or 13, and I remember watching the World Cup for the first time. It was in an old Chicago at like 3 in the morning when it was in like some other country or whatever.
Yeah,
at the
probably like
time
South
difference.
Korea or
yeah,
something,
some
yeah.
bullshit like that. And I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
this shit is great.
So, do you remember when Ghana was going deep in the World Cup one
Bro,
year?
I was so excited. I love
So
when
I was
African
wondering,
teams go ahead.
does the African continent basically root for the team? Like, if somebody's going deep, like.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what the continent of Africa is doing yet.
No,
I haven't been back.
I'm just saying, I just feel like 'cause Africa never gets far, so I feel like the continent probably cheers on the one country.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you remember how it ended, but Luis Suarez basically Basically, Ghana was about to score on Uruguay.
Yeah, and he pulled that red card and
yeah,
shit,
he straight
yeah.
up
Yeah, I
just
remember
caught
that.
the ball to make sure it didn't go in. And everyone was like, oh, my God. And then it wound up being a savvy play because
he missed the
fucking skied
he
the
skied the fuck. I remember that one.
Oh, my God. That shit was crazy. Because they could have made it to the
I was so excited for that
Final
one.
Four. They could have made the Final Four.
I remember that one, and then I think the one I was watching as a kid was like Cameroon or whatever had like a good run to like
Yeah,
the
they had some
16
fast
and
forwards,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was like, you would think. If white people are right about African athletics, the African countries should be dominating. Like, they should be killing it.
They don't have the same training.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is. If you give them the European trainers, I promise you, give it like for example, real quick, I just want to
French team in 2018.
Dead ass, yes. That's exactly what it would be.
Yeah, because the
that
French
team was nice.
It's all immigrants.
Yeah, which pissed me off because before the World Cup started, all the French people were like, "That is not our team. They are not French." And all of a sudden, they win the World Cup. They're like, "This is our team."
yes,
I'm like, "Bro, fuck y'all, man."
Real sports back in the day when Thierry Henry was the best forward in the world, they were saying they don't want him on the team because he's black.
Yeah, bro. The French. My parents lived in France. French are the most racist motherfuckers on the face of the planet, dude. Like
America ain't that bad. Okay?
No, bro, like people give. I will say, America gets a bad rap for like its racism and shit. But then you go to Europe, you're like, oh no, this is the same
Or
shit.
have you ever talked to Asian people? They hate each other.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, oh, yeah.
It's like
And black
subgroups of
people,
Asian.
too,
Yeah, they're out here hating everybody.
Yeah.
They're like,
They spread it out to themselves.
So that's good. They equally hate everybody, and other Asian people as well. Like fucking Japanese people hate like Chinese.
I remember Chappelle had a joke way back where he's like, "Do I look Chinese to you?"
Yeah.
He goes, "Yes, motherfucker, you do look Chinese to me with an untrained eye." It's just, it's
Yeah, they're fucking like that. But that 2018 World Cup team, though, they had a lot of Congolese players out there,
Yeah.
so that shit was. No wonder they're all good.
So,
'cause-
whatchamacallit, Conte. He's like the best center defensive mid in the world.
Yeah.
He's African, straight up African, but he's French.
him.
It's like French for the last 4 years.
Yeah, because
okay.
you guys colonized the country, so you gotta give them citizenship, motherfucker. Like,
Exactly. So we're gonna just transition from sports because some people are here for more than just my bad. We know that there's people that don't necessarily care about the sports, so we're gonna do other topics. The first one's gonna be Robbie Coltrane recently passed away. If you guys don't know who that is, that's in layman terms Hagrid from Harry Potter.
Yes.
So what do y'all? If this is news to you, what do you think about that news? And did you guys like Harry Potter growing up? Or what was your experience with Harry Potter?
like,
Well, everyone dies first of all. So
It's a dark movie series.
Harry Potter is very dark.
It gets. What I liked about it when I was growing up reading it because the first book came out when I was in 6th grade.
Yeah.
So like it was like I aged with the books. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
how old
like
are you?
I'm 33.
Okay, I was trying to think. I thought they came out. Okay, so then probably like when I was in like elementary school. So I was trying to figure out when they came out. But
Yeah.
I think I read them like probably in, like middle school. I got
Did
really
you read
into
them all when they were already out, or did you have to wait for any of them to come out?
I actually because they started coming out, and whenever they'd come out, I'd like read them right away.
Okay.
Like I'd sit up
You
all
learned
night.
you had to because like
Yeah.
you see like those like clips of people driving by the bookstore being like Dumbledore dies. People are like no, like just furious that they just ruined.
That's such a fucked up
It's
troll.
like it's like spoilers for books. It's fucked up.
Now they just tweet it, but
Yeah,
back then
yeah.
they
Back then you drove to Barnes and Nobles at 12 in the morning
yeah,
like
just
a boss.
imagine
was
driving
the
to Barnes and
scofflaw high
Noble,
school shit to do.
waiting in fucking line, and someone just drives by the line. Dumbledore dies, bitch, and you're like, motherfucker! Like I didn't even look on Twitter for this shit, and the troll
Yeah.
still found it.
We should go by the barbecue places and just scream, "They're out of brisket!" every time. Everyone's like, "Fucking no! I've been here for an hour."
Have either of y'all been to Franklin's? Because I've never been. It's too
No,
long of a
yeah,
line. It
yeah.
doesn't seem worth it to
I
me.
heard it's
No.
a
Brandon, have you been?
experience.
Nah, I'm Terry Black's gang for
Bro,
life.
same,
dude.
because
Yeah,
you can go to
same.
Terry Black's in less than 10 minutes sometimes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw out some barbecue places out here because I've been to Terry Black's and it's good. But when I do barbecue, I do one of two places mostly. I do Cooper's or La Barbecue. Those are my two barbecue joints.
Okay, I don't know.
What
either.
about we hit this place called Roll and Smoke,
Okay.
and it's just a truck basically. The sandwich is unbelievable. Brisket
Okay.
sandwich, Playboy sandwich.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
that's
Roll
off
and
the
smoke?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Roll and
by
Smoke.
Lucky
that
Duck on the
place
east
is-
side.
Okay.
That one's got a good sandwich, but I fuck with Cooper's though. But except for right now because they had to shut down. They had a fire. So like I literally rolled up there today because I do food tours around town and we go to
Yeah.
Cooper's. And
Let me
like,
tell you all about this place.
It's just a burger.
no, but like it's not even like when I'm not even doing the food tours, I just go eat at Cooper's because their barbecue's fire. And then
Mm.
like I showed up today, they're like, yeah, there's a fire, dude. We're just shut down indefinitely. I was like, all right, and they just have a
Damn.
sign on the door. I was like,
I wish I
okay.
would have known so we could find out. I'm sure they have like a GoFundMe or something that we could have plugged for the 20 people listening.
Yeah, listen,
Like,
they got enough money. I'm not worried about that. They're gonna bounce back.
They're gonna
Yeah,
bounce right
Cooper-
back.
Cooper's is
Yeah.
fine.
No, I mean, again, like where's Cooper's located? I
It's-
feel like I've seen like Cooper's, but I can't think of where. Like,
It's off like a 2nd Street in like Congress, like
Okay.
2nd and Congress area.
Yeah, it's right downtown.
But if you do like Franklin's though, the chef, the pit master.
I've
for
never been to
Frank-
Franklin's just because the line is.
Yeah, it's like okay.
I've never seen it not be like 40 deep.
Apparently, from
Line.
people that were like here before, it wasn't that like popular or busy, but then it was featured on Drive-In and Dives or whatever, the Guy Fieri show. And then like after that, the lines just never stop, and everyone comes in like, oh, you got to go to Cooper's because it was on fucking TV.
I'll do morning lifts, and sometimes like at 6 in the morning, like somebody will be getting dropped off at Franklin's.
Yeah.
I shit you not.
Bro,
like they don't open till like 10.
They won't.
Like, I'm like, what
they're
the
only open
fuck?
from 11 to 3, and then people will start waiting in line at like 6 or 7 a.m. The fucked up part is you waited 4 hours. That's like a flight from Boston to Austin.
That's fucking stupid.
And then you get there, they're like, we're out of brisket. and then you get
Of
fucking
course
nothing.
it's going to taste
bad,
good. If
yeah.
you're starving in line for 4 hours, anything will taste good. Of course you're like, oh, it's the best barbecue of my
These
life.
pickles
Like,
are fucking
yeah,
incredible.
exactly.
But
Like shit.
I mean, I love barbecue, but I don't love barbecue enough to like watch half a season of Game of Thrones before I eat barbecue.
Right. Like
I don't
straight up.
love anything enough. to
Yeah,
stand alone.
yeah. I don't know how we got to this from Robbie Coltrane dying, but I'm here for it. This is part of the randomness, you know.
Yeah. Robbie, I'm surprised he lived that long. That motherfucker was big.
That was a big dude.
But I'm pretty sure he wore like the prosthetics and stuff to make him look even
Oh,
bigger.
really?
Like he's
Okay.
big. He is big, but like you can like there's like a whole like viral thing where they show you like the process to become Hagrid. Like he's wearing like a huge suit.
Yeah, but if you weigh like over 300 pounds and you're not in the NFL, bro, your life expectancy
What's
is.
up, Brandon?
He was only 6'1".
Yeah, he's
How
not
much
that-
did he weigh? Does this say weight out
Let
there?
me figure that out.
I'm gonna eventually guess that he's under 300.
You think he's under 300? I think he was over 3 bills.
He
to
was
begin
280.
with. 280. Okay, that's
Damn, we should have bet.
Yeah. That would've been a
Bro,
solid
so
win.
I was watching the UFC fights with Brandon on Saturday, and Sugar O'Malley, like, I'm not gonna say it was convincingly lost, but he lost the fight.
You think he lost it?
Yeah, do
I
you
didn't
think so,
watch-
Brandon?
Bro, he lost. He literally, in the interview, they were like, did you think you did good in the fight? And he was like, I mean, yeah. And they're like, you think you won? And he was like, I guess I'll go back and watch the tape, maybe. Like,
He's like, look, I don't want to lie to y'all.
So,
Okay?
so what do you think? Like,
dude,
'cause,
the whole stadium was booing.
Booing,
Like,
yeah.
It was bad. It was
so I had to pay a bet
bad.
on that.
It was
because
bad.
but
some Sugar Shane rigness, but anyways.
do you think like the UFC is like trying to push him because he's like the next like he's got like
He's-
the one
he's
that they're saying
flashy.
like he's got next and he's got like a
He-
star power kind
Here's
of
the
thing.
thing. So, for example, like I have a cousin that's a Hall of Fame boxer, Winky Wright,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't get big fights until like the last 5 fights of his career because he's a defensive he's considered one of the best defensive boxers of all time.
Right.
And so, like, if you're a casual boxing fan, if you saw my cousin get beat, you're like, who's Winky Wright? Like, who gives a shit?
Right.
But if you go and lose to him, it looks like a bad loss, but people in the box community know that he's good. In America, the thing that gets you clout and the thing that gets you, like, going is being a knockout fighter, like being like a brawler kind of style. That's why, like, whatchamacallit got so big here. The guy from, what's his fucking name? The annoying guy.
Tyson Fury.
The guy who walks like,
Conor
McGregor. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
That's why he got so big is because he's a knockout puncher. You know what I mean?
And he talks shit. Like that's the thing.
That's part of it too. Yeah.
If you talk, I don't mind people talking shit, but my
They
favorite
back it
people
up.
is people that talk shit and then get knocked the fuck out. Like
Yeah.
if you talk shit and you get knocked out, I will die laughing.
Yeah.
Because like I get the whole thing. You know, you're trying to promote yourself. Like and Conor, he did it perfectly. Like he talked shit and then he knocked people out, and people were like, yo, this guy's legit. Like he got in Josie. I still think he got in Josie Aldo's head. Like
Yeah, that shit was
7-second knockout.
that fight was one of the fights that annoyed me the most of my entire life, just because Jose at that point in his career was probably still in his prime and he just got caught.
Yeah.
You know, I think that Josie was the better fighter between the two of them.
But it's crazy, yeah,
But-
for sure. But whenever you get caught, like people never bounce back from that. Because I remember like Anderson Silva when he was like at his prime, he used to just taunt people in fights and shit. And I remember that fight
Oh yeah,
against
middle, like just be like, come on, keep
yeah,
yeah.
I remember that fight against Weidman when he first got caught. Weidman was toying with Weidman the whole fight, and Weidman started just swinging recklessly, and he clipped him in the jaw, like just got him, and it was a wrap. And
Look,
ever since then, Silva was never the same.
Whenever somebody like is out there doing shit like in a sport like that where you can get knocked out at any moment, it's like you're a fucking idiot. Like I know you're elite at what you do, but that's fucking.
Oh, you have to
stupid.
be a maniac, especially like football players. I'm like, these guys are out of their mind.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be a psycho. Like that mentality to just like.
I always
all the
get
time,
nervous, like now that they don't wear knee pads. Like I always think of the Willis McGahee injury. If you've never seen the Willis McGahee injury when he played for the Miami Hurricanes, it is one of the most. The guy's helmet just like makes his knee disappear.
Oh my god!
God, I don't think I've seen that one.
And
Yeah.
then he went on to have like a 12-year NFL career. Like was a beast in the NFL. He was still good. Like
Interesting.
I would have retired the moment I hit the ground.
Just
Like
done.
Yeah, the
done.
one that I always remember is like the Sean Livingston one where his whole leg just completely snapped in half.
yeah, on the
God.
basketball, yeah.
So, Joe Theismann was another one. If you've ever
Yeah.
seen that documentary,
Yeah.
his was like the original. And back then, they didn't even have like the surgeries you have now that you come back in like a year or whatever.
Oh, no.
That
That
dude
kind of
was like
injury was-
dead afterwards.
They're like, we're gonna make it so that you can walk after this.
yeah, you might be able to make it up some
Yeah.
stairs like for the rest of your life. Like he was done.
Yeah. So next topic is I don't know if you guys saw about young Jock, but
It's going down.
Yeah. Young Jock, me in the trap. That guy. Okay.
Classic.
He basically got viral because he went trending because he zelled somebody $1,800 that wasn't the right person. And so he was like, hey, man, please send that back, whatever. Like, God will bless you in other ways or whatever. And the person, like, blocked him or whatever. Yeah. And so, like, he's, like, trying to put the person on blast. But what happened was everyone was like, Young Jock, you ain't got 1,800. Like, people started, like, roasting him for, like, not having the 1,800 to lose or whatever.
So if you're a Young Jock, do you try to get that money back? Because I'm like,
if you do, you do it quietly.
But you don't put the guy on blast.
You can't do anything quietly nowadays, though. Because what do you send him a message like, yo, send that back, like a private message?
That's what I mean by quietly. Keep it. He's the one that posted about it. Like,
yeah, but, like, if you send him quietly, you know that dude's screenshotting your shit and roasting you online. Like, you can't win either way.
But on his thing, it probably only comes up as he doesn't know you're Young Jock. You know what I mean? So you posting it and everything makes everyone know that you're the guy that's asking for the money.
What I would have tried to do is hit up Zelle. Like, I would have been like, Zelle.
That's too,
I would have tried to go straight to that because I'm like, there's no way you're going to fucking win.
That's a blessing for that guy. Like, he's just like, look.
Blessed out.
Sorry.
That's what I told some lady in my Uber because I sold my books out of the back of my car and I have, like, my cash app and all that stuff. And she sent it to the wrong person. And then after she had said it, she was like, oh, is this the right one? I was like, no, it's not. You probably should have asked that beforehand. And she was like, how do you get a refund? And I was like, I don't know. Hit the fucking company up. Like,
you should have asked before you sent that shit. No, I mean, hopefully she didn't send like $10 or something.
Yeah, it was only like $10.
Okay, well, I mean, not as much as 1,800.
Actually, no, it was 25 because she was sending me for the ride because I took her somewhere and then she was like, oh, I actually want to go somewhere else. And I was like, yeah, fine.
Damn. And she never sent you that money, did she?
No, she did.
So she sent it to you.
I said, give me the phone. And then
I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
I'm getting
I'm going
paid.
to get mine.
I'm doing this.
How unfortunate for you.
Yeah.
All right? No.
Man, she'll be good on 25. You're all right. Yeah, you ain't on that Young Jock life. You can do this.
So I would just hope that if I made as much money as Young Jock probably did during the era when he was big. No, it was a while ago. It was like 2008.
But do you think? Yeah, I was about to say, Young Jock had that one run. He had that one summer, but
he probably made less than $3 million in his whole career.
I was about to say, you can't be riding that forever. Like, I can't imagine Young Jock is still like, yo, it's going down. Like, he can't. Only thing going down is his bank account.
Precipitously.
His estimated net worth on like most websites is $4 million.
Still?
Okay.
That's
Those estimated sites are iffy sometimes. So, but yeah.
Okay, but if it says estimated $4 million,
you don't trust wealthygorilla.com?
That's where I go for all my information.
Only wealthy. Let's say you still got like $2. Even if you got $1 million,
you can't be complaining about 1,800.
You can't lose sleep off 1,800.
Yeah,
like just
you can't post about it, especially.
You know what?
Just let it go. Like,
you know what I would have done? I would have been Young Jock. If you're Young Jock,
know your audience. They're gonna roast. They're gonna flame your ass. Is all I'm saying. Like,
what he should have done is just been like, I blessed this person and I don't want the money back. Then now you look like the good guy. You know, you got to control the narrative.
If you're feeling this, like GoFundMe at this right here.
Young Jock starts a GoFundMe.
Just create a whole story. Like, this guy has cancer.
Yeah.
I'm sending him this money.
Play it off, bro. You got to be the good guy. Like, control that shit.
Again, chess, not checkers.
Exactly.
You know, like,
he's playing checkers for sure. Not well.
So I don't know if you guys heard about this news story about black sperm. At the sperm banks, apparently there's a shortage on black sperm. So what's your guys' opinion on that?
I'm not surprised. There's not a lot of black fathers. I mean, come on.
But wouldn't you figure like that's like your best opportunity to be a father without being a father?
But don't they have like a bunch of like rules that kind of like put like you can't smoke weed? Like 97% of black dudes
what's the reason why the shortage exists?
I didn't really go that deep into it. They just said that overall demographically we're a smaller demographic, so just usually it's about the same about the percentages. Is like, so let's say this 13% of the country is black. It's usually around that percentage of the sperm bank is black sperm. And like, let's say right now it's like 5% is black sperm.
You sure it's not all these white girls trying to make some D1 babies?
I mean, I don't blame them. Look, college is getting expensive. All right?
Don't they have like height requirements for that shit? Because if you're like a black dude over 6 foot, you're like, bro, I'm getting too much pussy. I don't need this shit. Like
I just bust free. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I bust for free.
No.
So black sperm banks are the opposite of prisons. All right.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't think about that.
Maybe they'd just be like, because if they need to find some black sperm, I'm pretty sure if you go to some jails, you can find some 6 foot black dudes in there and give you the sperm. But no one wants that, right?
No, nobody wants that.
No.
Have you guys ever done like a prison tour at all in your lives?
I've been to Alcatraz. but
Okay,
that's-
I did Alcatraz when I was a kid. Yeah.
I've been to prison. Not like not like.
I was in jail for 13 years.
I just got out 2 months ago.
I'm fresh off the pen, dog. No, in my senior year of high school, we took a trip to like a prison, and we got to like meet like some inmates and like.
Was it Scared Straight?
What's up?
Were you an asshole? Is that what it was?
No, there was white kids with us. It was cool.
There's a lot of white kids on Scared Straight.
Well, we had this crazy ass teacher. He had like a lazy eye, and so his eye he'd be like looking
at
like
me.
this way, but talking to
Look
Jason.
at me.
So he'd be like looking here, but he's
right.
talking to you. So you never knew in his class where he was looking. He'd be like, Ben, stop talking. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and
How
so,
does he see me?
and he was like a Green Beret. This motherfucker was like the strongest. Like he had that old man strength to like, we like people would talk, like kids would talk shit to him and shit. He'd just be like, and you're like your arm would go numb and you couldn't use your arm for like 3 hours. You're just
No,
like,
I had a Marine teacher one time for government the first day of class. Like, he got mad at the class because they were talking, and, like, he slammed his hand on the desk. And, like, it was so funny because, like, afterwards, like, you could see, like, he was an older guy, like, in his, like, 60s, 70s.
Right.
And he's, like, rubbing his hand afterwards, like, the whole entire time, right? The next day, this guy's hand looked like Mario's fucking glove, bro. Like, he didn't ever get it, like,
Jesus.
taken care of. But he broke his hand for sure. I was like, bro, like, that's a fail.
There are some men out there, dude.
Yeah.
Like my friend's grandpa, like he was an old rodeo guy, and he has the meatiest, strongest hands ever. When he shakes your hand, half the time, I'm like, I think I just broke my hand just from me shaking it. Like,
I don't even think he gripped. I think he just took it. Like, it's just what it's
really
what it
was
is.
pumped.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this motherfucker took us to the fucking prison. We had to talk to like the inmates and stuff. And one of them was still going through his case. So after everything, he'd have to say allegedly. And he's like, 3 people died.
I'm still appealing.
Yeah.
So.
He's like, I'm on trial for murder allegedly.
So what is it?
and one of them, I'm pretty sure he got turned out in prison. Like they didn't say it, but like from the way that they were talking about it, I'm pretty sure this dude got raped in prison. I was like, man, I'm telling you, if it
The
wasn't
telltale signs were there.
Bro,
Okay?
if it wasn't Scared Straight, I was scared straight. I'm
Yeah.
like, I will never end up in this motherfucking place. I'm like, if it comes down to like, if I know police are closing in on me and I'm gonna spend some time, I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go out busted. Like I can't, I'm not spending any time out there.
He screamed thug life and then he got tired of running from the police.
Leroy Jenkins.
Oh man.
Straight up.
I'm not about that life.
No,
but
never.
I think it's hilarious that we were talking about black sperm and got to black prison system syndrome.
you know
And
what I
that's
do-
just like an African to assume all African Americans are prisoners.
Classic.
Classic.
But like they don't make like manly men anymore like that, with like the big meaty hands. Like no one's like our generation, we're all gonna be like
We're
old
lucky if
men.
we know how
We're
to
gonna-
change oil.
Yeah,
You
we're
know
gonna be like, oh my
Yeah.
god, like we're gonna be like the weakest generation as
Oh,
we go.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, no more meaty man hands.
So me and him both do Lyft and Uber as a gig economy. I don't know if you guys have heard that Canada, they're about to let Uber Eats deliver cannabis. So that sounds pretty dope,
Is
if you
that
ask
something
me.
that's gonna be happening in the States too?
I mean, not until it's federally illegal, probably.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's great for business.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
And I want to make jokes about like you think people are gonna steal fries, but like at the same time, like they're gonna put it in packages that's gonna be like if the person tries to steal any of your like a piece of your weed, you're gonna know. Like
Someone
it's
just
gonna
shows
be
up at your door. They're just like,
yeah,
I got your
Sure,
shit.
Yeah, dude. I got
it's
you.
really good. It's really good.
Trust me.
Fire, dude.
But yeah, so I mean, I think it's dope. I mean, I think that maybe some states, like the ones that are like California, Colorado, like all the legal states, maybe might
Bro,
do it.
If I was doing it, I would just be I'd just be selling it, undercutting the fucking market. You paying taxes on that shit, bro? I'm driving around dealing my own shit, bro.
I
Undercutting
always
the market.
wondered if like the people that sold weed before it got legalized in that state, if they're able to still continue selling or not.
Well, because like when
I
was,
feel like probably not.
well, because when I was in Colorado when weed was legalized, like it was like 2014, and like the prices were crazy because you
Yeah,
had to pay all the
like
taxes.
an eighth is like $70
Yeah, you're
after
paying
taxes.
like $60 an eighth, and now it's like you get an eighth for free just for like buying another eighth.
Yeah.
Like, they just give you free weed now. You can buy like an ounce for like $90
Yeah.
of like fire weed, so no one needs to anymore. But like when it was first legalized, it's like you can buy it from the dispensary, or you can get your black market dude hooking it up on the low. So
Yeah.
people were still like slinging it back doors.
Yeah.
It was just the fucking nerds.
It's also
that
there's
came in.
there's a je ne sais quoi to like like going up and dapping
Hey.
some guy and walking away with like weed instead of having cash. You're like, oh,
For sure.
Tale as old as
You know what would be
you know
what would be sick is if you had like an RV, like a taco truck almost, but it was full of weed, and you just drove to people's house, and it was like a weed store on wheels.
Yeah.
And you're just like, all right, come pick what you want.
But then we're gonna have one shift where like cops are like trying to like, we want some tacos. We're like, oh shit. Like,
It could be a weed and a taco truck. Imagine how much money you would have made if you sold weed and tacos at the same time.
I feel like it's not fair.
No.
There's a reason it's never happened. Like, that's like Icarus flying close to the sun. That's too
good.
much. That's too good.
The
No.
next Jeff Bezos, bro.
But I've always wondered why they haven't made a movie theater where there's like a daycare center attached to it. There's so many couples that would go see movies if their kids could just like play like in a jungle, or just make it like, hey, your movie's this long. Here's all the kid movies that we had that are around the same amount of time. Give your kid a wristband. They can feel like they're going to the movies too. You know.
Yeah, or just throw them in an empty theater.
Yeah.
Just like let them play tag.
Exactly. Very easy to.
When I was a kid, I loved just going to the movie early and just running around.
Yeah, being the kid that everybody hated.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still that guy.
They did that at one of the high schools around me. They had a daycare at the high school, so it was called Horizon High School, but everyone else called it Lahore High. Which, when you have a daycare at your school, you got to bring this into yourself.
Yeah.
Like
I remember the school that I was subbing at when I first started trying to find a teaching job. They had a daycare also.
Yeah,
So, I mean, overall, that's a good thing if it's such a problem at your school that kids are having to drop out. But at the same time, it is an indictment on the area that you have to have a daycare center.
It was a decently affluent area. Where I was from wasn't like the nicest area. Like my middle school, by the time we were in high school,
condoms?
bro, every girl I went to middle school with, I went to high school at a district around like some rich white kids, but like my middle school was all like minorities and shit. And by the time we graduated high school, every girl I can remember from middle school had a kid already. Like all their kids now already going to high school.
Yeah,
like
all their kids are like the age you were when you met them.
Yeah, they're the age that they had their kids now. I'm like, motherfucker, this shit is crazy.
That's what I always thought would be surreal about being a teen parent is like when your kid gets to your age, you know, you're just like, holy shit, like.
But the flip side is though, like people are like, oh, but then when I'm like 40, I'm gonna have all this time to myself and like not do like have to take care of kids. But I'm like, but yeah, you missed out on your best years. I don't want to be at the club when I'm 40. Like you're being a creepy
You're
asshole
that
man.
guy.
at
You'd be the guy standing out like while you're like playing with your drink. And
Exactly. I'm
Bro,
just,
go home.
yeah, like
Take
go
your ass
home. Like, yeah, I'll be fucking hanging out at the house. Be like, yeah, fucking kid playing your little pet.
Remember when you were in like high school or college, there was always some like 30-year-old there, and you were like, what the fuck?
No,
Yeah.
Who the fuck is this? Like,
how do you even hear about this event?
yeah, like, how are you
get-
here?
Someone come get your dad.
Yeah.
Like, I joined a fraternity for 1 year, and one of the dudes in the fraternity was like in his 40s, like in the military and shit. I'm like, why would you join a fraternity with a bunch of fucking 18-year-olds, bro? Like, what does that say about you? If,
That's
like
like
your whole
predator shit. right
exactly.
there.
Like, I never want to be that dude. So I'm like, no, it's fucking stupid. Like, it's a dumbass argument.
Like they're trying to like drink you guys into oblivion and hazing, and he's just doing fine because he's been drinking the last 20 years.
He's the one doing it.
Yeah, he's just like, come on, keep going. He's like, all right,
I'm a cool.
calm
dad.
down, Chaz. So, I've been making a set about this premise, but just recently, footage came out for the first time ever where they found like they've been doing articles about it, but they found footage of it for the first time where orca whales are ganging up on great white sharks and like just mobbing the fuck out of them.
Gang.
Bro, it's fucking crazy.
Orca whales, the black ones.
So yeah, the one killer whales basically.
They're
So-
top of the food chain, man.
Yeah,
And
so
when it
that's-
comes to the ocean, they're on
So
top.
you're
And
telling
everyone
me,
says everyone acts like it's the great white, but it's not.
No, it's not.
so you're saying that a bunch of black whales are attacking the one white whale? In the, hey,
I'm telling you, the premise writes itself, bro.
It's only news because it's black on white crime.
Basically, the thing I've been saying is I make a comparison to like how we describe great white sharks,
Yeah.
and how like it's super predator like black men, and then
Right.
I'm like they're avoiding the South African coast. What does that sound like? Black mothers talking to their kids, being like, avoid that area. There's cops over there, you know. And like, which fish looks the most like a cop?
Yeah.
Orcas.
That's funny, yeah.
So it's like that's the premise I'm working.
Yeah,
but
that should
like
be a good bit.
it's crazy. Like the footage, like because it's insane. Is like they have an idea. This has been going on for a while now because they're only eating their livers. They're not eating the entire great white. They're eating their liver and then letting them drown out.
That's when you know you're a top predator, is when
that's-
you can be picky about what part of the
Exactly,
body you're
like,
eating.
It's like, no, I just want that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, no, this is caviar.
It's just a delicacy.
Is it weird?
Is it working?
Yeah, you just turn your mic. Keep that one
Oh, my
part
bad, my
towards
bad, my
you.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it? I feel like it's weird. It feels like white sharks. They'd be like, they're swarming, but black, they're like, it's ganging.
Gang. No. I just read an
These black
article-
orcas came from the ghetto of the ocean.
just ransacking the whole area,
They're
changing
looting
the whole ecosystem.
They're looting great white sharks. You know, like this is always that terminology.
It's so fucked up.
Yeah, which is kind of weird that everything that people call great, put great in between the words. It's always like to explain white people shit, like great white shark, like Great Britain.
The Great Migration is actually, it was black. I will say the Great Migration was black.
The Great Migration from where?
From like going from the south to like Chicago and whatnot.
I think that was just getting away from slavery.
No, yeah, but
that's just escaping slavery.
They called it a
bro.
migration.
Migration? You mean runaway slaves?
No.
They're not birds.
Yeah, they're not fucking migrating.
That's called the North One. What are you talking about? Like, it's a new reality for it's reconstruction. Okay, that's a valid point. My bad. I didn't think about that. All right, so now we're gonna go on to our own topics. I'll start off the first group of topics again. So we'll do 5 minutes on each topic. So the first topic that I want to do is lately we were just talking about sports. A lot of different athletes that we've been watching, like Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, like Russell Wilson, Russell Westbrook. There's a lot of like great players that are falling off
Rough
right
week
now.
for Russells.
Yeah, I don't
Yes,
even,
yes.
I don't
Go
even
on,
wear
man.
Russell Athletics, dog.
Not on this skin.
Yeah, it's not looking good for
But my
Russells.
question to you guys is, which athlete comes to mind when it comes to like the greatest fall from greatness?
Man, okay, so this is an unpopular opinion, but like Michael Jordan, when he retired the first time, it was like the coolest retirement. You just three-peated, you're 6-0 in the finals, you fucking hit the game-winning shot, you retire on top
So you say
like a
Wizards
legend.
Jordan?
And then he comes back from the Wizards, and then you're like getting destroyed by some like 22-year-olds because you're old as shit.
I feel like that's over. He didn't. He was like a B- level player. When
He
with the
was,
Wizards.
but like there's
when you're Jordan, it's just we don't want that.
Because when you're at the top, any fall is drastic.
Yeah.
Like you go as Michael Jordan, you're fucking Michael Jordan, and now you're fucking.
So, but real quick, does that mean that you want LeBron James to leave as soon as he's not top 10 level?
Man, I wanted LeBron James to leave before Russell Westbrook got on the team.
Yeah.
You know, like I want him to leave after.
He should have seen this
2020.
coming. He should have seen. No.
Yeah, like I think that's a fall from grace just because of how high up Michael Jordan was regarded, and then you come back and it's like. People just act like his Wizards years never happened. You notice when people talk about Michael Jordan's career, the Wizards years they never bring that
I'll
up.
put it like this. The Wizards years weren't bad enough to change the fact that he is the only player to average 30 points against every single opponent in the NBA.
No, that's fair. Like,
So like his stats dropped, but he's still like
no, don't get me wrong.
produced.
He's still the GOAT. So it's not the worst. But then he became an owner and a GM, and what he did to the Charlotte
Yeah,
is a
that was
drop from
bad.
grace.
that's totally different. Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally different.
Brandon, what's up?
He still averaged over 20 points a game each
Yeah,
of the
he
two
was still like a
seasons.
good player. He was still like the best player on the Wizards, probably. You know, it's just.
He was. Don't
But-
get me wrong. He was.
But it was a fall for sure.
It was
Do
just
you
like-
have anyone that came?
Yeah, I think Peyton Manning's drop off was
Oh, yeah.
definitely.
But you know
look
what's
at
crazy?
Brandon,
They won a
Brandon, look
Super
up
Bowl.
Peyton Manning's last season's
But
stats.
didn't
But
he
the
end his
fact-
last season
so
with the Super
bad.
Bowl
Yeah,
win, though?
that speaks to the greatness of that defense.
Yo, that team was so good, though. I remember being in
Yeah.
Denver and watching that. Von Miller won MVP for a reason because that defense, every third down would just end with a Von Miller sack.
He's like,
and-
we're all Cam Newton refused to go dive on that ball. He's like, no, I'm
Yeah.
good. Y'all got it. Y'all
Yeah.
want it clearly more than we do.
Hey, shout out to Cam Newton for letting us have that one. Thanks. And also, talk about fall from grace. Cam Newton, that one.
That one.
You went from
For
winning
me, for me, it's Mike Tyson, because Mike Tyson was like scary. Like the only heavyweight that I would ever watch and feel bad for his opponents, basically.
Mike Tyson is still scary. Have you seen that dude hitting the bag today?
No, yeah, but like,
terrifying.
Did you see his last fights though? Like he would like go in and like by the 6th round he'd be like, I'm done. I'm not fighting.
Yeah,
It's
because he
just
was.
like-
Yeah, because he didn't even train.
Mike,
he was just
God
like,
damn.
he just showed up to get a paycheck. He was,
he was no longer Iron Mike at all.
Oh, man, talk about boxing. Muhammad Ali, his last fights were sad. Like, after he got he's in there fucking shaking and shit. He's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to fight you, Muhammad
Yeah.
Ali, bro. That shit was sad.
That was pretty bad.
Yeah,
that wouldn't have even been allowed.
No,
like today.
they shouldn't have
The
allowed it,
commission
bro.
wouldn't have allowed it. Yeah.
They shouldn't have allowed it anywhere. Like, I remember they did a documentary.
Fighting
about
Larry
it.
Holmes when you clearly got shit going on. Like, what are
Yeah.
you doing? Larry Holmes in his prime when you're like 10 years past
Yeah,
yours.
they interviewed Larry Holmes. Like, I don't even want to do this. Like, this is sad to do. It's like putting Michael J. Fox in a ring. Like, what are we doing? Like, that's what he was at that point, bro.
Yeah.
It was so sad to watch like him try to fight. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
He's
I'm
like-
trying to think who else has like just fallen the fuck off.
Tiger Woods' fall from grace was
Yeah,
pretty bad.
that was crazy because he was like.
His story in general is just crazy because
Yeah.
it's just like,
Did you see the documentary on HBO?
yeah, it's
That
fantastic.
shit was so good.
It
It
is.
really contextualizes like when he's just like his dad would like cheat right in front of him and stuff. Like it's
Yeah.
you know when the person you look up to is your moral compass does shit like that, you probably don't see infidelity. as a
Everything
big
makes
deal.
sense when you watch that documentary
Yeah.
because it's like this dude was built to be a golfer.
Yeah.
and it's like
And a
just-
philanderer.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't mind the cheating. The only thing that fucked me up with Tiger was you gotta have a guy for that. Like, if you're a billionaire,
Yeah,
you
buying them
can't
Subway and shit.
Yeah, you can't be sending your own hoe text messages and leaving your own hoe voicemails.
No,
like,
yeah.
you
Brandon,
like,
were you about to say something, Brandon?
Oh, I was saying he had he had 9 touchdowns and 17 interceptions.
Oh my
Holy.
god!
Only threw for 2,000 yards and had a QBR of 67.
Holy
yeah,
shit!
Yeah, that's bad.
pretty bad.
I didn't realize he had double interceptions.
Yeah,
I remember him
it's bad.
Well, because that year,
I know he took off like 6 weeks or something like that.
yeah, he had that surgery where they like fused his neck, and everybody knew that he couldn't throw the ball down the field, so he could only throw the ball like 20 yards. Like, he had no arm left in that year, and so he was always trying to like anticipate his throws. That's why he threw so many picks.
2015 Broncos top 5 defense off the strength of
All the time.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that shit is legit. But
what's your first topic?
my first topic.
Sorry, I know it's a
Okay, yeah, you cut me off.
The 5 minutes. The 5 minutes.
So my first topic is the Dahmer show. I can't get over this. So the Dahmer show
watch
on
it?
Netflix. I've never watched it.
I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it.
I watched the first episode and then I was like, I know
Did you
where.
watch it?
I was like,
Yeah, did you
Yeah,
watch it?
motherfucker.
I was in
Maybe
it.
back then.
They had me at casting.
Yeah, like, actually, my mom's maiden name is Dahmer.
I know the guy.
It runs in my family. Good guy.
So,
But yeah,
I
so
just
the,
can't.
So the Dahmer show, they people complained and they took off the LGBTQ tag from it. Like, they just got to
Oh.
like choose that shit, and I was like, come on, man, you can't just get to choose
Yeah, you gotta
who
take
gets
one,
to
take all.
represent gay stories. You know, like we can't just be like,
I will give Netflix this. Like, I feel like the reason they took that off is because they feel like they're probably like, for example, like if you have your settings for like you like gay show, like gay like.
You like gay shit.
You like gay shit.
Could you imagine it just says like horror, comedy, gay
Gay
shit.
shit.
That's not what you get what I mean. If you like dramas that like there's no way to you know what I'm saying, bitch. But I'm just saying, like, so like Dahmer comes up, you're like, okay, you've never heard of Jeffrey Dahmer, and then it's like way more violent than you were expecting. That being said, like you live under a rock, do better.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Like that's who it's for. I feel like, but yeah.
I mean, I get that, but it's like we can't. Black people can't be like, yeah, R. Kelly removed from Black Stories. Like Bill Cosby removed from Black Stories. Like we can't just be picking and choosing who we get to have in our crew.
That's a
like,
very valid point.
Yeah, so it's like I feel like
you're gonna own that shit, gay
yeah,
people.
bro. Listen, y'all
Y'all
gotta
be
take,
killing.
Yeah, y'all gotta take one L. Y'all been winning everything, bro. Like if civil rights was a race, y'all are
He
Jamaicans,
definitely
bro.
puts the L in LGBT. That's for sure.
Yeah, facts. I was like,
Damn.
come on, Netflix, y'all can't just
So
come to that.
I used to teach psychology in psychology AP, and I preferred regular psychology because since it's an elective, you can kind of like tune it to whatever topics you want to stick on and whatnot. And like I'd always make sure we got to the material we had to, so that we'd have about like 2 weeks at the end of the year to do like the last week before the finals. I would do a topic about the early signs of serial killers, the psychology of serial killers, because people find it fascinating. And whenever I brought up Dahmer, I'd just be like, this guy shouldn't be even considered a serial killer because he should have got caught after 1 or 2. Like,
Yeah.
it's just the only reason
He was
he
the
got
dumbest
away.
serial killer of all time.
Exactly. Like the only
He's
reason
an idiot.
privilege is what got him to where he got to. Like that's the only way he got to that many
Just
bodies.
like a gay white man, they're like,
Yeah.
no, he's fine. He
Yeah.
can't possibly do this, you know? And I feel like that's why it's important to leave the tag there because, you know, you gotta... Cause,
Gays are dangerous too.
Exactly. Gays are very capable of murder, and I just want people to know that, you know? They're getting off
Everybody
scot-free.
kills just like everybody poops.
Exactly.
You know?
Murder is like shitting. We all do
it.
Yeah, everyone's capable of it.
Everybody.
It is weird how obsessed as a society we are with serial killers. Like I've been trying to write like work out a bit about this, how our culture is like so obsessed with death, and
Oh, for
like people
sure.
we only want death if it's a commodity and somebody's
for
selling
sure.
it to us. Like, oh, we're very
You know
afraid
what's so
of death.
crazy is
But
like
here's this story about a guy who just kills people. We're like, yeah.
name one of his
I'll
victims.
watch
Like
it.
right, nobody can ever do that. And then like when you think about like the fact that like if you're a victim of something like that, that means that the scariest moment of your life was the last moment of your life. And that's
Yeah.
fucking tragic.
That is
like
tragic.
that the very last moments of your life are scary as fuck. You know what I mean? So that's just like, and then we're just like, so what sign is he? It's like, what the fuck? Like, who gives a shit? Like is he that's Sagittarius energy?
You
It's
ever,
like,
you
what
ever
the
seen
fuck?
that chart that goes around like Facebook and stuff? That it's like these are all the serial killers.
Oh
and all their
yeah, I
signs,
have
and it's
seen
like
that.
Gemini.
Yes, I have seen that. Like literally, like 50% of the names listed were Gemini. I remember seeing
I'm a
it.
Gemini.
Oh well, that's been tidbits.
It checks
and randomness.
I told you, man. I was there for casting.
You got a good look for it.
Yeah, I was pretty disappointed with the outcome. No, I mean, I haven't watched it. I don't plan on really checking it out. I heard that it's a pretty good series. Did you check it out, Brandon? You asshole. You
Yeah, I
son of
did
a
see
bitch.
it. Sorry, dude. The
Did you like it?
audio's a
Very
little
good.
delayed on this end, so I have to fix it in post. So everything I'm hearing from you is like a few seconds behind.
You're good, man.
Is
But
it worth a watch though?
Dude, it didn't need to be 10 episodes. It was fucking stupid that it was 10 episodes because it's so long and drawn out. It was good, but like, there's just unnecessary long episodes about like his dad writing a book about it and how they sue him for it. And it's like, I don't give a fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Do you feel like they were trying to like paint him in like a light as like he was like a sympathetic murderer? Like what were like? Do you feel
Nah,
like that?
I feel like they did a good job
Monster.
of being like, this guy's a piece of shit. Like they shut that down very quickly that he's not a good guy.
Yeah.
But they did try to like put a lot of blame on the dad. I feel like because they were like, he showed him taxidermy when he was a kid and made him like this.
Desensitized him to
Yeah,
like, the
but it's
gruesome
also
nature.
like I don't.
That's
that
not
feels
why
like
he
a
became a
reach.
serial
Yeah.
killer.
That didn't work
It's
for
just
Tiger
how-
Woods when his dad showed him cheating. Like, this is what I'm talking about. We've come full circle, bro. That didn't work for Tiger. Like,
I mean, technically, it's hand in hand.
yeah, I'm saying.
Like
man.
he did taxidermy, he got to killing. He saw his dad fucking, he got to fucking.
Exactly. You know, it goes. Yeah, it comes back. That's
It's
all I'm saying.
the circle of life.
Beautiful.
That's what we're capping that one. So what's your first topic?
Alex Jones.
Oh yeah, the billions of
Got
dollars.
fined $1 billion. So 26 people died in the Sandy Hook shooting, right?
Yeah.
And so it got me thinking 2,996 people died in 9/11. So if Alex Jones got fined $1 billion for the Sandy Hook shooting, and you do the math, George W. Bush should have got fined $115 billion for lying about 9/11 because it's 115 as many people died.
Wait. Did George Bush lie about 9/11? Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. Inside job. I got it. My dumb ass is like, wait, did George Bush know something?
George Bush did 9/11. Like, bro,
Where
where were you on
Number
9/11?
one, I remember like one of these guys that I know. He always says like super like fringy shit. That's just like the election is stolen type shit. And I'm just like, the earliest signs of him saying like ridiculous shit was literally the Sandy Hook thing, where he was just like, that didn't happen. And I was just like, oh, okay. That was my line of the limit. Like, okay, you're crazy.
Yeah.
I don't take anything you say seriously.
I gotta say, man, the whole thing to be like,
Turn towards you.
oh shit, yeah. So for like charging like whatever you got like $1 billion for Alex Jones. One, is he even gonna be able to pay that? Does Alex Jones have that type of
No,
money?
his company is worth like 120 million.
Yeah.
That's
So
all.
like,
It's just gonna bankrupt
and then
him.
he's gonna bankrupt, and then he'll probably pay some settlement fees or whatever, move on with his life. But like. Now it becomes like people like you unless it's like corroborated by like the media or whatever, you can't say shit now. Like that, I feel like it's we're taking it to a weird place of what people
It is.
can
That's,
and can't
that's the
say.
interesting part of the conversation.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's a
what-
fucked up thing. It's like, oh, we don't agree with that. We're gonna sue your ass. Like,
But
that's
I mean,
a fucking thing.
it's you can't when you put yourself out there to be like a news organization, you can't say that a mass shooting was fake when 26 people got murdered.
I mean, I don't know if it's fake in the sense that people definitely died.
No,
I think-
that's what he was saying is that like they're actors, that they didn't lose kids. Like that's what he was saying is that the whole thing didn't happen.
Yeah, Michael Moore made a whole documentary about that, and George Bush, he didn't pay shit. So it's called Fahrenheit 9/11, and it talked about the same shit. So I don't know. It's just this is like weird thing that I get it. Don't get me wrong. Like if your kid died in there, you'd be probably like, well, this is some bullshit. Fair enough. But like to make somebody pay $1 billion for that, I feel like it takes us to a place where now no one's gonna be like, yeah, I don't believe this, but I'm not saying shit. Like, you're just keeping it on the low.
I mean, if you don't believe that a school shooting happened where they send cameras to and like there's like funerals that take place weeks after, if you don't believe it just because like your news source tells you that it's not real, then you shouldn't say shit. Like that you're not a
What-
knowledgeable person.
I don't understand
Yeah, but-
what the incentive was to like
To
what's
lie
the
about it.
what's the conspiracy though? Like
So
what's his logic? Like
his
why?
conspiracy was that they faked it to try to do gun laws to try to make so that they would take back.
Okay.
And it didn't even happen that way. But he was like, they're trying to take our guns, and that's why they're trying to make it seem that guns are dangerous. So they make up a whole entire. What's the worst thing that could possibly ever happen with guns? A shooting at an elementary school. So clearly these are all actors and shit like that. It's just like, no, these aren't actors. These are people that lost their kids that were like 3 and 4 that got torn apart by
Yeah.
M16 rounds. But. Sure,
I'm not gonna lie. It is it's a strange hill to die on. We'll put it that way.
Oh, for sure. Like what? I don't know what dog he even had in the fight in the first place.
Yeah,
But
but also Alex Jones being considered news is also a stretch in itself.
no, yeah, absolutely.
Alex Jones is a stretch in of himself,
Yeah.
like just as a human.
Yeah, like
He's a troll, is what he is. He's a
Yeah.
troll. He
But
likes
we
to-
also elected a president that was adamant that the previous president had a fake birth certificate, and people were like, "This guy's
Well,
legit."
the president was a troll.
But that speaks to
We
the
got
racism
the
of
ultimate
our
troll.
country.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Is like, now are people going to sue Trump now, and he's going to owe millions of dollars for saying that kind of bullshit?
We've seen that Trump gets its different rules in general.
Yeah, so it's like who gets to decide who gets these rules and who gets to say some random bullshit?
Trump literally tried to do an attempted coup against our government and isn't in prison.
Yeah.
So it's different rules for him for some reason.
Right, I'm saying that's what I'm
the
saying.
fact that Merrick Garland hasn't prosecuted him on throughout history, if a faction attempts a coup and you don't either put them in prison or don't execute them, guess what happens? They try again and they tend to succeed the second time. So the fact they're not doing anything about this whole entire situation where they're straight up fucking lying and trying to change democracy on a level is insane. That Merrick Garland isn't prosecuting it. Hopefully eventually he does because they're still doing the trials and whatnot. But it's seeming like they're not going to prosecute him. So you're right. That's fucking crazy.
No, that's all I'm saying. Is like who's fucking in here making these decisions?
But Donald Trump, to me, I always say he's literally the walking personification of peak white privilege. Like if you had his credentials as any other race, you couldn't be the president of your fucking HOA, let alone the president of the United States.
No, yeah, and
so,
yeah, he's not even successful in a sense.
He's not.
His whole career is kind of bullshit.
It's a farce.
Yeah, the whole thing is
when he did the when they did the roast.
He's a Wizard of Oz.
When they did the roast of Donald Trump, his things that they couldn't talk about was his hair being fake and him not having as much money as he claimed. Those were the those were the things that they couldn't joke about.
Big dick energy, basically.
Yeah, and then he's just out there like, I'm the most healthy president that's ever lived. Like, bro, you're wearing a diaper, dog. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
No one's buying it. All right, so for my second topic, are you guys familiar with Darwinism?
Yeah, the basics.
Okay, so what's the craziest, stupidest death you've ever heard of? Whether it be anecdotal or someone you know. What's the dumbest death you've ever heard of? Because for me, I can give you some examples. I remember I heard a story of a guy's Porsche stalled out on a train track, and he tried to push it off and he couldn't, and so he started running towards the train trying to get the train to stop.
Paul Walker? No.
God damn. No.
Too
soon.
The dumbest death.
That missionary guy who went over to those natives trying to convert them. Yeah, they shot his ass up full of arrows.
Yeah, I heard
2
about
seconds.
That.
Yeah, that's pretty dumb.
Darwinism.
Yeah.
Well, I heard there's a statistic 100 people die from pens every year, writing pens.
How does that even?
I always try to think how the fuck do you die from a pen? Did you fall? The pen stabbed you in the heart? How do you die from a pen?
Or an artery or some shit?
Yeah, just got you in the right spot.
That means that more people die from pens every year than great white shark attacks.
We kill millions of sharks every year.
Yeah, but it's not done by gangs, so nobody cares.
We're only worried about gang violence, all right?
Only gang violence.
That's shark crime. It's white on white violence. Just a bunch of white people going out there killing great white sharks.
It's so crazy that white on white crime has never been considered a thing, even though most crimes are white. Yeah, listen, this is crime when we do it, but if black people do it, it's black on black crime, it's specified, which I've always found very fucking weird.
Even though everybody usually commits crime against their own community.
Yeah. And
it's rare. For example, Jeffrey Dahmer, that is such a rare instance where you have a serial killer killing people of a different racial demographic.
Could you imagine if a black dude was going around killing white people? There would be one.
Yeah, he wouldn't make it a serial.
Bro,
that's even in the 60s or 70s still. When there was no cameras, you still couldn't get away with it.
No, there would one, and they'd be they'd be on your ass.
There he is.
Yeah. All right,
they would just start arresting everyone. Every black guy.
Yeah, stop in prison. Let's get all of them. Round them all up. There would be no black people walking free in the streets.
Me and you would be in the same lineups.
Yeah, they'd be I don't know.
Nothing alike.
It's kind of close.
It's one of those two.
Like the Dave Chappelle bit when he talks about I don't even go visit my friends in prison because they'll be like, oh, while you're here, come in. You fit a description. He's like, what's the description? He's 5'5" to 7 foot. Yeah. He's from 100 pounds to 300 pounds. Wears Nike's big lips.
I remember you had the one where you talked about. He's the first thing he bought when he got money was a police radio scanner. He's sometimes he's listening to that shit and it'll be we're on the lookout for a black male between the height of 5'4" and 6'7". He's what the fuck? And it's just well, I got to stay in tonight. I got to work on that alibi. And it's just I'm all jerking off in the window, and it's just Officer, Dave Chappelle couldn't have done it. I saw him in his room jerking off at 3 a.m. He was holding a clock and yesterday's newspaper. I'm sure of it. It's pretty funny. He's look at the time.
I always think about that shit,
best,
bro. Because anytime someone commits a murder, the first thing I do is always look at the race. Because I'm if it's a black dude, I'm fuck, I can't be out in these streets now. Is he on the loose? Nah, fuck it. If they don't find the guy, I'm not going outside.
Do you guys know? Are you guys familiar with George Wilborn?
No.
He's a comedian. He has a really funny joke back in the day where he'd be like, basically ask the crowd to go like raise their hand when it's their thing. He's like, mass shootings. Like nobody does anything, and he's like, white people, raise your hands. He's like, we'll try it again. Gold chain snatch, and all the black people raise their hand. He goes, look at the pride in the room. Look at the pride. He's like, sometimes I'll be in my room, like just like at my place, like hearing a news story, and I'll be like, for example, I was frying chicken one time, and I heard it's like people in a cult all killed themselves, just like then some white people, like a room full of white people. Like that means you planned that shit out. Like no. If there's even one black guy in the club, he's like, wait, you want to do what? Win? All of us? No, hell no. Yeah, no, get back, motherfucker, get back. Like,
I've always wondered with cult leaders. And I know black people wouldn't fall for it because
that's Darwinism death, by the way.
When you fall into
Drinking
a cult,
the Kool-Aid, that's stupid.
Because the first thing that happens in a cult is like, yeah, you're welcome. Now I gotta fuck your wife. Black people is like, what? You ain't fucking who? Like that's the thing. Like,
he's like, do I get to fuck your wife? Oh no.
It's just
I'm fucking everybody's wives. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, every cult leader fucks your wife when you get in there. Like what?
It's part of the ritual.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Mormonism, white as shit. I'm fucking everyone's wife.
Mormonism started off as
I'm getting 8 wives.
Yeah, I mean that's quite the perk. Think about it.
I mean, yeah, they're not doing it wrong. I can't say.
Yeah, I mean they've been
Can't
doing
fault
it.
them for it.
It's kind of crazy that like that's kind of how the root of that religion kind of started off as a sex cult, kind of.
Yeah.
Nobody likes to say it like that, but it's kind of what it.
One guy just like, yeah, I want to fuck more women.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
His
most
name-
religions
his name
are like
was
you
Brigham
can't
Young.
have sex.
God told me to fuck your wife.
No.
That's a hell of a way to start.
Joseph
that shit.
Smith. Yeah, Joseph
Smith. Yeah, God, I got a message from the mountain, and he said, "I will fuck thee wives."
Have you seen the South Park episode where he's reading in the hat? Like he's like, Joseph Smith was a prophet, dum 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 dum, and he's just like, all right, the tablets in the hat say we got to do this. He's like, well, can I see the tablets? No, only I'm allowed to see the tablets. And it's just like, what the fuck? And he's just like, well, how about somebody stole the writings and made him write it again to prove that he could do it? And so like he changed the writings. It's a whole thing. Like just it's fucking hilarious. And it's like at the bottom of the thing, it's like this is all true. This is what they believe. Like they're making it a point, like with a little like side note, like even though this is ridiculous, this is what they fucking believe.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
so.
And I met somebody trying to convert me into Mormonism. And
They
I
don't
was
treat
like,
blacks good in Mormonism.
Nah.
You
I
can't
was
be you can't be a pastor in
Yeah.
a faith and whatnot.
So like, no, you cannot fuck the white women. I'm sorry.
Then why? That's what I got in the game.
Count me
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, that's
I'm
the only reason I'm
going back to these streets. Like, go put that sperm bank can.
Nice. That was good. Nice. All right. So what's your second topic?
Oh man, second topic. This is kind of abstract, but like, I feel like y'all remember terrorism? Like,
No, I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, see,
Terrorism.
Yeah, remember like when everybody was like when all you used to hear on the news, like people's biggest fear was like terrorism. Now it's like the biggest fear is like pronouns. I feel like when you have like a biggest fear of like some real shit, people are like, yeah, we're fucking Muslims are gonna blow. We're all together now.
Yeah.
But now that we don't have that, everyone's like pronouns. We're fighting about like cancel culture and some like random bullshit. Like
Innocuous.
we just need somebody with a beard to blow some shit up, get things back on track.
Like white people committing mass shootings isn't doing it. Like, we need like minorities to make us bind together with hatred.
Because when white people do it, it doesn't.
It's just Tuesday.
Yeah, it doesn't like trigger on the radar because white people are like, that's not me, that's them. But if a black person does something, all black people did it. You know,
It's
like
all of them.
If one Muslim person does it, it's all of them. You know, like
It's the entire faith.
Exactly, this is the whole thing. Like, I'm not even Muslim, but bro, look at your skin tone and that beard. Like you are part of that.
You could be.
You could be.
That's the
Yeah,
problem.
when
You
white
got
people-
it in you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what gets me is when people are like, "Oh, we'll all come together when like the aliens attack. Like we'll all have a common enemy." It's like, first of all, if the aliens attack, we're fucked.
Like a dead ass. If they get here, we need to show up with our cheeks spread, saying like, "What do y'all want?"
Yeah.
You getting
we
here
don't-
just proves you whip our ass.
You just didn't hear him correctly. He said when the illegal aliens get here, we're all gonna band together. That's the full quote.
Words are crucial.
Yeah, you miss
Words
one word,
are
it's
crucial.
a completely
The whole
different
context
meaning.
changes.
Yeah,
The whole
that's what they
context.
really meant. So we band together against them.
This is a random aside to that, but like, did you see like how in Florida, like it was like the first, like 2018 was the first year where felons could vote because they changed it recently, but it was like if you have committed a murder, no, you can't. But like some people that had committed murders had like gone to like DMVs and whatnot, and people have been like, hey, you can vote if you're a felon. He's like, no, I don't think I can vote. It's like, no, you can vote or whatever. And so they sign them up to vote. They voted, and now DeSantis is like rounding all these people up as like a political show, like to be like, you illegally voted, you're the reason why. This is what we're talking about when it comes to people illegally voting or whatever. So like they were convinced to vote, even though some of them like were literally like, I didn't think I could, but they told me at the DMV and stuff, and it's just like, so clerical errors is what you're arresting people for?
That's a setup if I've ever seen.
That's
No,
what
you
I'm
can
saying.
do it.
It's a setup.
Are you sure? No, I don't think I can. Yeah, you can. All right, I'm gonna vote. Gotcha, bitch. Like,
All right, I'm gonna need you to put your hands behind your back. It's like, what the fuck? This is some bullshit.
yeah, that's some
No,
straight
yeah.
like Chris Hansen in the
That's some
voting
crazy,
booth type
yeah.
shit.
Chris Hansen walks out at that moment.
Oh shit! It's Chris
Have a
Hansen.
seat. Have a seat.
Yeah. So did you really
Have a
think you
seat,
can
whatever.
vote? You?
By the way, I remember seeing an episode where when Chris Hansen came out, the guy like sat down and like started like eating the cookies on the table, and I was like, you know how nervous you gotta be to just like, or just like accepting of your fate to just start eating cookies like in the middle of the situation.
This is it.
I'm going to prison. I might as well get these chocolate chips in real quick.
I mean, short. What's worse? Seeing Jeffrey Dahmer or seeing Chris Hansen? Like what's worse if you're a dude? You're like, you see Chris Hansen or Jeffrey
For
Dahmer?
me and you, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, for Jeffrey. Listen, at first I would have thought that, but I'm like, because the difference is Jeffrey Dahmer, you're like, at least I'm gonna, I don't have to live with this. But like Chris Hansen, you're like, shit.
Brendel,
like,
did they go over in the show what happens to him in the end? To Dahmer?
Yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer ended up being like basically there was this black dude in prison with him who
It's great.
thought that
Go on. Yes, it's beautiful.
that he that thought like he was racist for killing only black people, and so this dude and then this other guy who killed his wife and tried to blame it on two black people, they were all cleaning, and he was like, I am Jesus' Messiah sent here to kill you, and then just beat
him to
Dahmer
death.
in the head with a dumbbell and stabbed the other guy to death with a broom, and then got like 3 more life sentences added on.
Hey,
listen,
play in the dirt, you get dirty.
bro,
Okay?
I feel like it was worth it. Like if you're already there serving
I mean,
life, fuck it. What's
Yeah,
3 more?
exactly.
Like,
You
fuck
might
it,
as well
man.
kill
So
Jeffrey
real
Dahmer.
quick, I didn't know he killed the other person with the broomstick. That's dope.
Yeah.
It was pretty sick, because like I
I might just watch that. What episode is that?
It's just not
I might just go watch
I watched
that
the
one.
finale, dog.
it's pretty crazy the way like the actor who plays the dude killing him does like a really good job. He like the way he's like,
You saying
I am God, because he gets mad because like Jeffrey Dahmer sees John Wayne Gacy die and started to become a Christian and was baptized,
life,
and so
yeah.
the church was like, he's reformed because that's like part of
Yeah.
their rules. And this guy was just like, no, you're making like he shanked him in the neck in church, tried to kill him like a couple months before.
Damn.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
Do you feel like if you're in the church, like, I know forgiveness is a thing, but is there like a line where you're unforgivable? Like, you got to be like, nah, dog, God hates you. Like,
mean,
you crossed that line.
They say if you ask for forgiveness at the end, that's all that matters.
Man, I feel like if he was killing white people, they would have felt differently. They'd be like, you're unforgivable. You killed the Negroes, we'll allow it. But if he was killing white people, like, no, you cannot be
It's
forgiven.
like, it's like, get him an award. Get him a medal.
Pretty good. Your reward is in heaven, Jeffrey.
Yes.
Like, what kind of bullshit?
So what is your final second topic?
I guess robot umpires in baseball, or just like
Oh, hell yeah.
in
I'm here
general.
for it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who's your favorite team, by the way?
The Giants.
Okay.
The interesting conversation to me is like, how much human error should we allow in officiating?
Yeah.
Because I think it creates a lot of interesting stories when you allow officials to fuck up.
Yeah, for sure.
But-
I mean, it changes the legacy of outcomes.
100%. Because there was that one game where Armando
Galarraga?
Galarraga
Yeah.
almost had that no-hitter.
No,
But
but
he
perfect
handled-
game.
Perfect game.
He
Yeah.
handled that so well.
That's the thing, though, is there was a beautiful story that came out of it
Yeah.
because it was a human situation, right?
Yeah.
And I think we're going to lose a lot of those stories if we
But
allow...
I-
He's
if
better
you-
than me. I would have been
yeah,
heated.
yeah,
dog.
I
I
would've
mean,
been-
of course.
Bro,
I would have started swinging. though.
99.9%.
Can't they go back in the record books and change that? Like, they'd be like, everybody knew what happened.
Yeah.
Even the ump knew
The
what
moment it
happened.
happened,
Like, and yeah,
everyone was
even
just
the
like-
ump
he
knew
was
what
just
had
like-
happened. Yeah, everyone in fucking knew what happened. I would have been like, bro, fuck you.
Yeah.
I see you in the street. I'm sending
Yeah,
Dahmer
on
your
site.
way. Like,
On
on
site.
site.
I'm
Like,
sending
in these
Dahmer.
hands. Like, what?
Nah, I feel
Yeah, that'd be some bullshit. But I mean, I get what you're saying. I don't know why baseball hasn't gone. Like, it's like the same, like, they finally put, like, VR and, like, soccer to, like, put the goals and stuff like that. Like, at least replay that shit. Like, that
Back
was
then, they
ridiculous.
didn't. That's part of why, like I think within 2 seasons they started doing. You can do challenges and whatnot because of
Yeah.
that.
What I don't get is
But
when...
like you can still have umps and just have them have like an earpiece.
Exactly. See, that's what I don't get is when
Yeah.
there's like a separate replay official in New York, and it's like it's taking like 5
Forever,
minutes.
yeah.
It's like everyone's already seen what happens. How is this taking so long? I don't understand that at all.
The Commanders and Packers game this past Sunday, they had a moment where it took 7 minutes for them to decide on
my
a
God.
fumble by Antonio Gibson, which doesn't sound long, but when you have to do like commercial breaks and you come back and people are still standing around. You go to a commercial, you come back and people are still standing around. It's like, golly, like there has to be a more efficient way to do this.
I think it's because the leagues want a scapegoat. It's really easy to be like, that motherfucker did it right there. Like, if it's the league, then people are like, oh, the NFL's fucking up. But if it's like this dude on the field, they're like, yeah, that guy's a fucking idiot.
But I will say some sports are like so, like, I do not envy NBA refs.
No.
Like, so
Have you seen the Tim Donaghy?
The reason I didn't watch that documentary is because it doesn't tell the whole story, like with the Tim Donaghy situation. Like, we'll talk. We only have about 2 more minutes.
Yeah.
But like, it's an interesting documentary for sure. I'm a Spurs fan today because I 2001 moved to San Antonio. Was there for like 18 years. Became a Spurs fan. But when I was a kid, I was a Kings fan. So watching that game where the Kings 2002 Game 6, Mike Bibby gets elbowed in the face by Kobe Bryant, bleeding everywhere, and nothing gets called. Yeah. Lakers get 26 free throws in the fourth quarter.
And
Kings get 4.
And Derek Fisher makes that shot with.
Vlade Divac tipped it out. Yeah,
and then they changed the rule because of that one. Where like now you.
That was against the Spurs. That was against the Spurs. I was talking about when they faced the Kings in 2002.
Oh yeah.
Like Vlade Divac tipped it out, and who was it? It was Fox that. Anyways, I don't want to talk about it, but yeah,
Rick Fox.
But Tim Donaghy was on that game. He was one of the refs.
Yeah.
So it's like no wonder there was a 22 fucking free throw disparity in the fourth quarter.
He's like, bro, I got money on this.
Yeah, and also like the NBA, I'm sure on some level the NBA definitely prefers LA to be in the finals than Sacramento.
Well, yeah, they talk about that part too, where it's like coming from the top, the NBA is like trying to make the series go further.
Yeah,
because they want to make money.
Extend the game.
And they say don't call fouls on the best players because they want them in the game. You don't want LeBron James sitting on the bench.
Yeah, but have to play conservatively with 4 fouls in the fourth.
Exactly. Yeah. So like take it a little easy on this guy.
Yeah, it's human nature. I mean, but that being said, like at least with that aspect, like it's earned. Like you earned that level of like
it's
deference.
We all want it. We're all for it. Like we all want to see LeBron.
Yeah,
exactly. It's like, nobody wants to see him on the bench.
Yeah. That's why a lot of people got mad when Dallas and the Heat played in the finals the first time with like Nowitzki versus Wade and Shaq, because Wade was taking like 17 free throws a game that series.
Yeah, he shot all sorts of free throws.
Yeah, they were like, this is ridiculous. Like, stop calling fouls every fucking time. Like, you know, so guys, I appreciate having you guys on. That's been basically the episode. This has been Tidbits and Randomness. This has been Jason Brendel and Ben Bosunga.
Yeah,
is there anything you guys want to plug real quick?
Yeah, Lonely Man's podcast. We're on anywhere you find podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all that nonsense. And then we also have a Patreon. And then, check out my Instagram, Ben Bosunga on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and all my shows and stuff I post on there. So,
all right.
Cool. Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Jason Brendel, JasonBrendel. You can also find me on jasonbrendel.com. I got a website. I do a lot of blog posts and stuff. And then you can find my book. It's called Not Your Average Sonnet, and that's available on Amazon.
Okay, that's what's up. Cool. Thank you guys for doing the show.
Hey, thank you for having us, man.
All right. Cool. And thank you, Brendan, as usual, for producing. This has been Tidbits and Randomness. I'm Winston Dean. Looking forward to the next one.
Hell yes.